Thank you so much for the invitation and this opportunity to be able to share my story, as well as what I'm up to and how I use real estate as a vehicle to be able to do great things on this planet.
I love multifamily. I love real estate investment. Team is very important.
Things will sometimes go wrong on real estate deals. It's just the nature of the industry.
We've considered investments together. We work with many of the same people.
And I'm forming, partnerships with people on all different levels, and it's a win-win-win for everybody that way.
Step by step, I planned out what I was going to do. I planned on going sailing, so I knew what I needed to accomplish, and I started that plan. Actually, in fact, I wrote a book, and it's called Dreams, Goals, and Adventure. Aloha, and welcome to Deal or No Deal, Multifamily Real Estate Investing Podcast with your host, Michael Ditton. Our mission and vision for this podcast is to share the knowledge and stories of others to inspire and motivate those not only in their pursuit for success in real estate investing, but in their overall journey in a life adventure, and to help create abundance on every level of their life. This podcast is sponsored by Helios Capital Investments, shedding light on multifamily real estate investing. Today, we're going to start off with Carolin. And just, Carolin and I have known each other probably a little over a year now. We met through Mike Wolf, who's another personal friend of ours. Carolin and I have had an opportunity to do business together, to share experiences together. Carolin is the energy that she has is infectious. Her background, I'm going to have her tell a little bit about her story, but her background in the real estate investing world, she has a portfolio of over 15 million in real estate assets, and she's obtained these through creative negotiations. She's the founder of Creative Real Estate Academy, which I am a proud member of. And she's on a mission within that academy and everything she does in life. But her goal or her passion or her mission is to, provide the knowledge that she's gained and share that knowledge with other people so they can help continue to build their wealth and acquire not only properties, but when you have wealth and you have the support that comes along with Carolin and the folks that I'll be sharing with you, it's not just a monetary wealth. It's basically abundance in all aspects of your life, which is what we're all about. So with that said, I would like to introduce you to Carolin. And Carolin, please say hello to the audience and tell us a little bit about you.
Well, thank you so much, Michael, for that very warm introduction. I am so honored to be here. Thank you so much for the invitation and this opportunity to be able to share my story, as well as what I'm up to and how I use real estate as a vehicle to be able to do great things on this planet. And like you said, the beautiful thing is we get drawn to other wonderful creators on this earth, as yourself and Mike Wolf and some of the other mutual friends in common that we have, that we've been able to witness that you can use these, like I said, these vehicles like real estate to not just build your wealth, but actually do massive impact in the world and do good and be able to give back. And that's what I'm extremely grateful for when it comes to the real estate knowledge and experience that I've been able to obtain. And, and the cool thing, what I love to share when I have these opportunities to tell my story is that real estate is not something that I started on early in my life. And it's definitely not something that I got into having an abundance of capital available. In fact, I had no capital available when I started it. And that's really what led me into doing creative real estate investing. But with regards to my journey, I immigrated to Canada when I was 4 years old. Spoke no English and was, went through that new immigrant experience with my family of being in a new country, watching my parents have to take entry level jobs and really everything else that came with that, in having a lot of change and transition. They always were changing jobs. We were always moving homes. And experiencing that, I remember at a very young age, just having this consciousness of, I want to create stability for myself. And really that's actually what led me into just trying to discover a way to create financial stability, because I always attributed that to the opportunity to be able to have, one home that you can live in, and food on the table every day without wondering where it was coming from, healthcare, all these basic need items that, like I said, in my experience growing up, weren't always available. But through my journey, it led me to actually, when I was 16 years old, I quit high school because I was so ready to just go into the workforce. And I became a social worker, I became a hairdresser first, because I thought I would just travel the world and cut hair, because I figured everybody needed their haircut. So that would be super easy. And then from there, I discovered very quickly, at one point, my family and I moved back to Chile, that the rest of the world doesn't consider manual labor the same way that they do in North American countries. And so at that point, I finished high school at night school, and I came back to Canada to go to university. And that's when I studied to become a social worker. Again, this was all in that path of like, how can I create financial stability? And everything that I kept hearing from people was, you have to have some sort of post-secondary, you have to have a university degree, or a college diploma to be able to build that kind of financial stability. And so I followed that path, and it's always been in my nature to want to like nurture and give back. And that's why I went into social work. And I attribute that just to, experiences that I had early on in my life. Like, for example, when I was 12 years old, my mom passed away in a car accident. And so instantly I had to help raise 5 of my siblings that were with us, the youngest one was just over a year old. So that again got me into that place of becoming a nurturer and taking care of people and seeing how I could be of service. And of course, that came very naturally as I was working as a social worker doing child protection. But as the years went by, and I was able to financially obtain that dream and that goal that I had, and had that financial stability, I literally had everything that I desired at that point, right? A very healthy family, financial stability. Like I said, my partner was, had a really great stable job, and so did I. But I found myself in my late 30s feeling extremely empty inside. I had all the material possessions. Like I said, I had established the life that I was told I needed to create to have fulfillment and peace. And unfortunately for me, it just felt empty, and it felt like I was really missing something. My soul was calling for more, that there was more that I could do. And this is when I had this experience that really pushed me to start questioning, well, what can I do to actually be of service in a greater level? And through that process of kind of, doing some more internal soul searching, I really started to get that connection of like going into real estate. I had always really enjoyed real estate. My partner, or my husband at the time, we always carried at least one rental property. But I wanted to push for more. I wanted to have more properties, and it just wasn't in alignment for him. But when I finally started looking into that, I really felt the excitement and passion for it, because I saw, again, through my experience as a social worker, how critical having a home is to create stability and to have that foundational piece for families and particularly children, to feel safe and to know that they're secure and to know that they're protected within this environment of having a stable home. And so I started to really resonate with this idea of, if I could go into real estate and acquire properties and create better homes for people, whether they were rentals or helping them get into homes, then this would be, again, a vehicle that I could actually start impacting more lives than I was at the time working as a social worker. So instead of dealing with the problem, how can I actually help and do some preventative work and provide, more stable homes for different, for families that typically wouldn't be able to afford those type of homes. And so that's how I progressively got my way into real estate investing. And as I mentioned, when I first got started, I would say on my own, I didn't have the financial resources to be able to acquire a property, and let alone actually even put a property under contract. So that means, when you find a property, you typically have to put some money in escrow and to be able to hold the deal and say that you're serious about it. Well, the first property that I found required $10,000 down, and I didn't have that money. But this is where, like I was saying at the beginning, that experience really pushed me to get creative and figure out, okay, how can I make this work? Because I so badly wanted to get into it, but I didn't have the financial means to do it. And that's where I was led into this area of creative real estate investing. And I'm so grateful for that, because those are the tools and the skills that I get to share with other people as well.
Yeah, so basically by being creative, you provided a solution for yourself, and you're opening the doors, windows, and eyes of others to see that there is a solution.
Yeah, so, exactly.
Yeah, and I not that I would ever make light of social work, because I have the utmost respect for them, but going from a hair salon or a barkeep into the social world, it's like basically the same thing except for a degree, right?
Yes. Exactly. Yeah, it is. Absolutely.
Yeah,
You're
because
absolutely
you
right.
got people sitting in the chair telling you their whole woes, or sitting at the bar stool telling you their whole woes. So you just went and got a degree and did it legit ways. And had to, again, I don't want to make light of it because it is an important responsibility.
No, and like I said, for me, it was more because I kept trying to figure out, I knew that I needed to have financial independence and backing to be able to, or at least stability to be able to make impact in this world. And I would say this is very much attached to not just the way that I would say my family that had immigrated to Canada looked at the world. They just saw it as people with an education, they do better financially, they have a more stable life, and that's what you should do. And I kept, that was the message that I was fed growing up. And that's really the only reason I went and got a degree, because I didn't think it was possible another way to do it. And so it's been it's like such a powerful journey for me ever since I've gone full-time into real estate investing. How not true that is, right? You don't need to have a degree.
You don't need to have a degree. But, because of that mentality or mindset, and I know you and I talk about mindset all the time. In fact, we were talking about it before the show, and we'll talk about it again in a minute. It kind of leads me into this next question, because here you are, an immigrant. You've dealt with the challenges of immigration into a new country and learning and all this other stuff. You saw the need or desire to reach certain things. You found a solution to do that. On top of that, and Crystal and I talk about this all the time, we know that it's even more challenging sometimes for women, and or there's a stigma because of that thought process or mindset that maybe they can't do something or get into this that you're doing. And I guess if I was to ask something, for the gals out there that, maybe have some of that, and some of it was maybe imposed by family or negative things that have happened in the past, or maybe they just don't have that confidence quite yet. What would you tell, especially a young woman who is thinking about this, but is lacking a little bit in courage in order to take that step and get there?
Yeah, that's a beautiful question, especially when it comes to this place of real estate investing, because it is so male dominated that I definitely felt, especially in the initial months, as fish swimming upstream, because the male focus, and just everywhere you went, it was like, this company run by a male, this company run by a male, everything. I think where we started to see the break in that was when more women started to go into like being real estate agents. Then we started to see that mix. But even like apart from that, when you look in the space of real estate investors, especially the ones that are doing it at a high level, it really gets quite narrow in terms of the number of women that are in that space doing work at that level. And so honestly, when I first went in, I did feel that, like I said, the male dominance. And I have to say that like what you were saying earlier, my experience of growing up as an immigrant, child to Canada, and also witnessing, for example, in my family from my mom's side, traditionally the women stayed home and they took care of the children. So I was the first one, for example, even on my father's side, the first person period to go get a university degree. And then, to have a profession as a woman and say, I'm actually going to, be involved in going out into the workforce and, working around raising children and all of that. It was breaking through a lot of barriers within my family and within the culture. And so because of that, I think I was already primed to be able to work through some of that energy, like the tug and pull that I experienced in going into real estate investing at first. And so what really helped me was, one, staying focused on what my big picture goal was, which was like, I know that I'm going to use this to be able to do good in the world. And I just kept leaning into that. And I also, as I was out networking and meeting people, I would start aligning more with individuals that spoke my language. And what I mean by that is people that were practicing, that were talking about like doing good or being of service, or I'm going to, use real estate and then go serve the world. So for example, Mike Wolf, when I first met him, I was really attracted to what he was doing because, not only was he doing the work of real estate investing, but then he was out there and serving communities, traveling around the world, helping, being of service, volunteering. And so that for me, was again, a prime example that there are people out there making this difference and doing good. So for all you women out there, I would just say, thankfully, that playing field is opening up. So look for other women and men, right, that are in alignment with the type of work that you want to do, because there's all kinds out there. And I experience even in there's women out there that are also what I like to call like sharky, where they're going to take you down no matter what. And of course, because it's typically been a male dominated area, there's a lot of men that are like that too.
Yeah. But
you just have to stand firm to what your belief is and, do the mindset work that you and I talked about earlier, and then start aligning with those people, like I said, that are speaking your language, that are doing, the way you want to show up in this space. But thankfully, there's a lot more women out there now.
No doubt about that. Yeah. And no matter what you're doing in life, you always have to pick and choose who you partner with. And, You know,
Exactly.
if you pick somebody that's not only going to support you, but help you to the next level, those are the people you want to ride on the coattails with or walk side by side with. So what I hear you is big picture, have it, be clear about it, never lose sight of it, align with the right people. And you can be a 4-year-old that immigrates from one country to another and rub elbows with Richard Branson. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah,
that's all they have to. That's all they have to do, right?
That's right. I never actually have thought of it that way, but yes, exactly.
Okay,
You can.
okay.
You never know what where life will take you, but yes, everything is possible. And yeah, that's the beautiful thing is there's no. I was actually talking to somebody, I think last week about this, just saying I've never leaned into. Like saying, for example, I'm a female and so therefore this is going to be challenging, or I was an immigrant and therefore I'm going to face these challenges. I've actually, thankfully, always looked at the world with just with this oneness of saying, like, if this is what I desire, or if this is my focus, I know that I'm going to make it. And none of those things matter. It doesn't matter what my, the color of my skin is. It doesn't matter where I came from or what language I speak or where I'm located. If I am so profoundly passionate about accomplishing something, I'm going to make it happen.
Yeah.
And so I'm really grateful for that because, like I said, I've never looked at those things because someone was asking me, they're like, I never hear you speak about like, hey, I'm a Latin woman, because my family's from Chile. I'm a Latin woman and I've been able to accomplish this. I don't know.
You're a woman from Chile. You're not, yeah. So,
yeah.
You're a woman from Chile.
Yeah.
Period. That's not
exactly.
going to, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
So yeah, no,
so it doesn't matter where you come from. Exactly.
It doesn't.
So that's my message is, that your social status doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what, where you are located. This is why I love being able to share this message with people around the world, because it doesn't matter what your current situation is. If you are so passionate about wanting to accomplish whatever your dream is, you will break through barriers that you may not even know were there to make it happen. Just like what you're saying about, being in a world in real estate where it's male dominated. I didn't even stop to think about it. I was just like, I know what my focus is.
Well, if you're thinking about it, that's a hurdle to overcome. So, and it's not that you can't overcome it, but if you don't even think about it, it's not even a hurdle. So you just drive on right past it. So, again, it's back to mindset, it's something that we talk about again, quite often. And for those of you that didn't catch the comment about Sir Richard Branson, just so that you know, this is a true statement. Carolin had the pleasure, and this is also in the sustainable communities and the things that she's doing around the world, just recently had the pleasure of being in the same presence of a whole bunch of really incredible individuals, Sir Richard Branson being one of them, to talk about this sustainable community and lifestyle, not only for us locally in Canada and the US and that, but for countries, away from us. So that kind of all ties into that holistic mentality that you're talking about. So tell us, what that was like and where you're going with that.
Yeah, it was incredible. Honestly, again, this, talking about setting intentions and just leaving things open for the universe to guide you and show you the way. My business partner, Kristen, he had been involved with a group called Space for Humanity, where one of the members there had previously been at this event on Necker Island with Sir Richard Branson. And so because of that connection, that gentleman was able to invite Kristen, my business partner. So I already knew that he was going. This was kind of known, I think, around the summertime of 2021. And so as it was getting closer to the date for that event, I think it was 3 weeks out before the event, my business partner calls me up. And actually, when I found out he was going, I said to him, you better be inviting me for the next event because I need to be there. Yeah. And so, again, I had set the intention and I was like guiding him. I'm like, make sure you talk about this and you share about these projects that we're doing and these eco communities. And so 3 weeks out, he calls me up and he says, guess what? He's like, there's one of the ladies that was going had to pull out. And now there's an opportunity for them to bring another woman because they like to have a balance of male and female. And there's only 40 people that can attend. That includes, Richard Branson and all his team. And so, of course, I was like ecstatic. And he's like, they're going to call you and you have to go through an interview process and they have to make sure you're fit and what you're doing. And, it was just magical, the process, how everything aligned and it came together beyond perfect. And so I had this tremendous privilege of being able to attend this event that they host twice a year called Disrupting for Good. And it's really, like you said, a kind of like an incubator experience where you have speakers that are doing incredible things around the world. So at this particular event, we had President Johnson, who was the first female president of Liberia in Africa. We had Layla, who I'm so terrible with names, but she wrote the book called Me and White Supremacy. So she came and she was a speaker. Astro Teller, who runs X, which is Google's moonshot factory. And this is where they do the incubating for a lot of new technology. And of course, Richard Branson was there every day, interacting at all the events throughout the whole day. It was just, honestly, for me, it was just wonderful to be amongst just such high
influential, caring individuals.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
And I was, I just felt like this is where I need to be. These are the people that I need to hang out with, and just listening to the work that they're doing and just the impact. And then of course, hearing, Richard talk about there's so much good that he has done throughout his life so far that we don't even hear about. Because of course we see all the business sides of things. We don't really see a lot of the philanthropy, but one of my biggest takeaways was when he spoke, he always emphasized how powerful it is to be able to, he kept saying you have to work with people, but also make profit. So really, I would say destroying this whole concept of, okay, once I make profit, then I'm going to go do good and I'll be a philanthropist. It's about how can I actually create businesses that do good for the people that I'm serving and make profit, so that, because the more profitable you are as a business, the more impact you can make in that business, or, in supporting other business or other impact companies. And that for me really resonated, because that's really how, within our company, Cardiac Communities, we've really made it a point, or put the effort in to make ourselves different from traditional real estate investing companies, because we've always looked at how can we be of service? How can we help people? And that's at all levels, and creating that win-win. So yeah, it was out of this world. It was incredible. I made incredible connections. And since then, my life just took off, like particularly with these eco projects, they took off to a place that I just, they skyrocketed beyond what I ever imagined. Like I went in there with no intentions except for the openness of, I'm here for a reason, and just guide me on, how this is supposed to play out in how I serve this world.
So it was probably a pretty good alignment.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. So speaking of alignment, one of the things that when you sent over the information to me, I completely forgot about this until just now, but one of the people that we haven't talked about tonight that made a big impact on your life is a man that I know, like, and love. I've actually seen him and on stage before. He actually lives in my hometown of Santa Barbara, California. Do you know who I'm talking about? Jack Canfield.
Oh, Jack Canfield.
Chicken soup for the soul. That's only a small piece of, I would love, he does these masterminds every year. One of these years, I'm going to, Crystal and I are going to pony up and go to him because I just love everything he does. I love everything he's about. He is so humble. He is so down to earth. He is so into service. And when we talk about aligning, with people, you do it, I do it, the people that we associate with do it. We align with people, that want to make the world and the people around them better, so it can be that ripple effect. I mean, Brendan Burchard, that's how I met Mike Wolf. His sole mission is to make it so things are better and easier for you, to make it better and easier for others. So it's that ripple effect. And I just, I love him. And, I get emails probably almost daily from him because I just love following everything he does. And one of these days it's on my bucket list. I still got, rebuilding everything now. It's probably 2, 3, 4 years out from now, but I will be at one of his special events. There's absolutely no doubt about it.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I would love that. And actually Jack Canfield was instrumental in my, I would say just catapulting me into the power of in mindset, but like the power of journaling and goal setting and everything. When I was 38 and I decided, okay, I need to, I have not lived my life. I need to start living my life. And I actually read the Success Principles.
Yep.
And that book, like the first chapter, I was bawling. I was a year and a half into, separating from my kid's dad. And the first chapter is about taking responsibility for your actions. And I was just bawling because, of course, when you go through those experiences, it's always easier to point the finger to other people. But it was such a powerful, powerful message just in that first chapter of everything you do in life. The first thing you do is take responsibility for what have you done to get to where you are, for things to happen where they are. And that's not to put blame on anybody, but when you take responsibility, it just allows you to come from a place of gratitude and say, you know what, I was also part of this getting to this point. And so how can we, in a loving way, move forward? And that book changed my life. Yeah.
You're basically creating the foundation by clearing or understanding the past. And knowing that it has a place in the future.
That's right.
And knowing its place. So once you've done that, then you've got the foundation. You can start looking towards the future. And speaking of future, it's going to lead me right into the next thing. So Carolin passes on in many, many years from now. And what she leaves behind is her legacy. What does that legacy look like for Carolin?
The legacy I'm striving to leave is actually, actually leaving these eco communities that will be replicated throughout different parts of the world, that you can actually from space see how they are recreating the health of our planet and humanity and the people that are living in them. That is my ultimate vision and goal. I had this opportunity actually in November where for the first time in my life, I visually was able to see from, like I said, from space, these glowing green communities throughout the planet. And just like it just landed so deeply in my soul because I thought, yeah, that's exactly what I want to see. And that's all I'm here for, is I just want to be part of healing this planet and making it a place for so many future generations to be able to enjoy its magnificence forever.
And I have no doubt you will. Absolutely. Well, thank you. And we're gonna call this one a wrap. I mean, I think you and I could probably keep going on and keep going on and keep going on, but
Yeah, we could.
we'll call this one a wrap. And you know what? We just might do round 2 another day. So
Sounds good.
in closing, if you have a final thought, also if you don't mind people reaching out to you, how they would do that. And of course, that information we'll post within the podcast itself. So final thoughts, how to reach you, go.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. First, I want to thank you, Michael, for the work that you do and your role on this planet, because you and you and Crystal are like such incredible beings here, spiritual beings of service, that I feel so honored and blessed to be connected to both of you. So thank you for this and sharing this message. And I just want to encourage people to follow their goal, their heart, their goals, their soul, whatever is speaking to you that says, there's this little thing inside of me that says there's more I need to be doing, or I know that if I start doing this one thing, I could make a difference and impact this world. I just encourage you to step into it, lean into it, open up the world of possibilities, because from our human perspective, we may not see what's possible, but anything that you put your mind to can become reality. And that has been my experience. So just encouraging everybody to keep dreaming, keep fighting for your goals and your dreams that you have. And with regards to getting in touch with me, the best thing would probably be through email, which is carolin@cardiacommunities.com. And I'd be happy to connect with you if there's anything I can support you in, or share or inspire. I'm happy to do so. So thank you again, Michael, for this time.
Yeah. Thank you. And we'll make sure that they get that information. And dreams, goals, and adventure. It is definitely it. I'm right there with you. So
yeah.
Thank you very much for coming on today.
My pleasure.
It truly has been a pleasure, and I just so look forward to when this comes out and it is out there and aired for everybody else to view, so that they can just sponge up as much fun as that we've had here today on the show. So again, thank you very much. Until the next time, thank you to the listeners for watching us here on Deal or No Deal. Again, it's more than just a deal. It's more than just real estate. It is all about abundance on every level of your life. And as you can tell, that's what we're here for, to serve and to help provide that abundance. So thank you all. And that'll be all for Deal or No Deal today. Thank you.